Hey everyone, it's Dave and Olive. Thanks for joining us here at Book Blather, where we talk about the books we've read or acquired recently to help spread the joy of reading. Today we're bringing you the last couple visits to the local Goodwills with an S. I'll tell you, this Goodwill was like a well-kept secret, at least for me. It wasn't until like not all that long ago. I think it was, I forget which channel it was. I think it was a blurb from the Serb, where I first, like, somebody was talking about that the haul that they did at Goodwill, and I was like, what? They have books at Goodwill? Like, I don't know why, but I just never knew that. And so sure enough, we have one like right nearby. And so I went to it, and huge book section. And so my daughter actually like works like pretty close to one. Sometimes I had to drive her there, so like every time I like drop her off, I just pop in, and every time I like find a couple things that is totally disorganized. I mean, it's not awesome, but every time I find a few things I like. So this is like the greatest thing. Like now, and they're so cheap. The books there are like $1. And so I just keep going, and I keep going. I keep coming back with stuff. It's awesome. It's cheaper even than the used bookstores. So now, I keep going, so a lot of the stock is the same, and so each time I go, I'll maybe get like two things. And so I saved a couple of these up. I also recently discovered a new one. The one I was going to was in Southport, Connecticut. I discovered another one in Shelton, Connecticut, so now I hit that one, and so that was a little better. So let me go through those first. So the first one in Southport was we have a lot of Harry Potter fans in the house. Two of my daughters have read the whole Harry Potter series a couple of times, and I'm ashamed to admit that I have not read the whole series. I've only actually read the first book, and my younger daughter is like, she's on my ass constantly about this. Like, can't believe that I haven't read this, and how can I possibly be reading all these other books before I've read the rest of the Harry Potter books? So in any event, we have all these Harry Potter books in the house, but we don't have a complete collection of all the nice hardcovers. And so I saw these two there. Looks like they've never been read. This was 5 and 6, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So these are like perfect. They've never been read. They're brand new. I got them for $1 each. So we have a couple of the hardcovers, but not these. So I picked them up. The next one that I picked up, I think on that same trip, was the Aeneid by Virgil. This is the version translated by Robert Fitzgerald. And so I had, many years ago, obviously, I have the Robert Fitzgerald's translation of the Odyssey by Homer. And so when I saw this, I have not read the Aeneid, but this tells the tale of Aeneas's adventures. If you don't know, it's another classic epic poem, but this tells the adventures of Aeneas's adventures after the fall of Troy. So I figured I saw this Fitzgerald translation of this, and so I figured I'd pick this one up since I have that of the Odyssey, and obviously we'll read that one day. Okay, then I also at the same Southport Goodwill, but I think on the next trip I found two first in series fantasy novels that I've been waiting to find. These are top of my list of fantasy series to read. So the first one is, I found book 1 of the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is The Assassin's Apprentice. And so I really wanted to try. I've read no Robin Hobb. I really wanted to try this. I was told by Philip Chase that this might be a good one for me to start with because of the relationship that the guy has with his dog. And so I was really excited to find this, and it's in perfect condition. And then the other one that I picked up is Malice by John Gwynne, the first book in the Faith and the Fallen series. This is a super hot fantasy series, if you're not already familiar with it, that everybody's been talking about for the last couple years. I am probably the only one that reads any fantasy that hasn't read this yet. So first one in the series, and so again, this one's not in as perfect condition, but it's fine, it's good, and so I was excited to find this too. Then I recently found, on a separate trip, I recently found this Goodwill in Shelton, Connecticut, and this was my first time there. So I got a few more finds this time, and so the first book that I found is We the Living by Ayn Rand. I actually don't know a whole lot about this book other than it's a classic and I should know more. It tells the tale. It's Ayn Rand's statement against communism, and it tells some a tale of some individuals after right after post-revolution, right in the beginning of post-revolutionary Russia, I guess, when socialism is first getting adopted. I think that's all I know, and so I should know more. And anyway, so I picked it up because it's a book I should have read by now. And I don't know if Olive's read it. Olive, you haven't read that one, have you? Olive, you haven't read that book, have you? No, she's tired today. Okay, so now, as some of you may know, if you've been here a while, in October, we like to read Halloween-themed books, not just scary books, but books that are specifically Halloween-themed. So I actually found two of those there for next year that I'd never heard of. The first one is Death by Jackolantern by Alexis Morgan. And this is about... they're getting ready for the Halloween festival, and the woman on the planning committee for the festival, I guess, is she goes to pick up some pumpkins from the farmer, and it turns out there's been a murder in the corn maze, and it's a question whether there was a dispute about stealing pumpkins. It sounds very Halloween-y, little murder mystery, so it sounded pretty cool. And then we found this one, a shorter book called Candy Coated Murder by Kate Bell and I guess Kathleen Suzette. So I'd never heard of this before. But this is about, this is a town called Pumpkin Hollow, where Halloween is basically celebrated all year round. And some woman comes back. It's the return from being gone for years trope. Some woman comes back after being gone for 10 years and discovers that her neighbor has been murdered. And so it embarks on this quest to try to figure out what that's all about. So, okay, the next one we found there was this perfect, looks like brand new copy of Your Inner Fish by Neil Shubin. A Journey into the 3.5 billion year history of the human body. So we really like books that are about, long-term evolution. And this tells the evolution over 3.5 billion years on this planet, leading up to, the body that we, all through all our ancestors, leading up to the human bodies that we have today. So this is I love books like this, and so but I haven't read this one, so I was really happy to pick this up. Okay, and the last one that we picked up at that Goodwill is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. So we've now picked up a couple of used copies of Riley Sager books, but haven't read any of them yet. But we hear only good things about them all, so we assume we're going to enjoy them. First one on our list to read is Lock Every Door, which we're going to read soon. This is supposedly another good one. This one, I don't know too much about it, but this is, I think, about a girl who lives in some like Victorian estate, and her family flees in the middle of the night when she's little, and her father writes a memoir about the horrors there. And then as she grows up, she tends not to believe that stuff really, and then she goes back. And of course, the people there are not happy with all the attention that her father's book drew to the place. Some dark things happen, I think, at this Victorian manor, and so it's a scary thriller like all his other stuff. So Yeah, so we're pretty anxious to get into the Riley Sager stuff because we just hear a lot of good things. Okay, so that's it for the books that we picked up at our last 3 or 4 Goodwill trips. All total, it seemed to be a pretty good haul. And we're looking forward to reading some of this stuff. Some soon, some not so soon. But, okay, so as always, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you get notified the next time Olive says it's okay to upload another video. We'll see you soon, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.